at my firm, what we do is, I kind of take the stance that you're going to work really hard when the work needs to be done. And that includes for me too. But when there isn't any work, or maybe we have some downtime, actually take off. We're not a butts and seats type of firm. So I don't believe in this premise that if there's no work to be done, you still need to be sitting there. So I tell our team that get your work done, get it done as quickly as possible. And we all have lives outside of work. Go do it. Actually turn off and, go experience your life and what that is. So I'll tell you, there's two things that I've put in place. I don't know if it's a routine or just a process that I do that I think they just help me tremendously. One, everybody uses their phone as an alarm to wake up in the morning. And what I found I was doing is my alarm was going off, and the second I would look at it to turn off my alarm, the first thing I'm seeing is all my notifications. So not only am I jostled awake from my alarm, I'm now having to look at 50 notifications, which instantly gives me this anxiety that I have this much work to do. I left my do not disturb on my phone on longer than my alarm. So when I pull my phone up now, I don't see any notifications or anything. And so I'm actually starting my morning a little bit more peacefully. The other thing that I do is I actually schedule blocks of time that are important to me. So on my calendar, I actually put really important blocks, personally and work. You can put exercise as a block. Most of the time I'm trying to block off my Friday afternoon so I can go sip a little wine on the back deck and enjoy a good day. So if I tell myself to do that, that's helped. A couple of things we put in place. One is I've asked my team and us to at least turn off Slack notifications during off hours. So, set your time and your period that you want to work, and don't set Slack notifications so they're not popping up on you. You're not getting surprised. But me as an owner, it took me a little bit of time to actually realize that just because I'm working, my team doesn't necessarily need to be working either. And so I have really paused in my expectation of when do I expect a response, and let's just get okay with that. That it's probably going to be tomorrow morning that you don't get a response on your Slack message. And the second that we make that understood between our team, I think that they understand then that they don't need to respond. So the one thing that I can help protect them is to say, your weekends are your weekends. And I have asked them to specifically, and I do this, so I lead by example. For the most part on the weekends, I have turned off completely. I'm not checking email, I'm not checking Slack, and nor am I sending Slack messages. And I think that has really helped protect those 2 days, because if we only get 2 days out of 7, take it and do whatever you want, and work should not intrude in that. I think it's so important to segment a space that is important for you. And that space needs to kind of be disconnected from your work or from your personal life. And so work needs to be here and your personal life needs to be somewhere else. So I have a home office that, it's nice and it's wonderful, but I know when I've left for the day and left technically, that it's done and it should be done. And so I turn off the lights, I leave the office, and I think a lot of people could try and do that in different areas. Like if you're working at a kitchen table, you can leave that space. The one thing that's really helped me get comfortable mentally and not overly stressed is realizing that perfection probably doesn't exist. And that's okay. You're so right. Like accountants, we're people pleasers, we're strivers. We think that our clients want those immediate responses. And honestly, they have flexibility too in their expectations. And setting those expectations with your clients and even your staff helped me realize that I can now hold myself to a different level of expectations. And I will tell you, there was times that I've gotten sick and stressed out because the only thing I can think about is work. And when I relaxed and didn't bear the burden of all my clients, I think it made better and healthier relationships for team, for clients, and everybody. Luckily, we have Slack, and we all work on around the same schedules. So one of the things is we just check in. We have a weekly check-in meeting, and we're asking, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? What's your workload like? We provide unlimited vacation for our team. And so what I ask sometimes is, are you taking that? Do you have something scheduled? What's going on? Take a step away. Through the meetings, through chat, you can sometimes sense that something's off. And I will tell you, historically, I've sensed that something's off more recently now than it ever has been. And I think that's environmental more so than it is work. And it's just because everybody's dealing with so much, and it can come through as just a little bit shorter response on a Slack message, and you're like, what's going on? And so it took me to kind of get to the root of it of, wow, my team, let's just be honest, they're balancing children right now who are at home. They're balancing work, and they're balancing their personal life. They're balancing family who maybe they need to go see. They're even balancing the fact that they haven't gotten a haircut in 12 weeks or something like that. I feel like I'm growing this mullet personally. So everybody's got something kind of going on. And it was wrong of me at some point with all this to expect the same amount of output and not tailor the expectations. So some of it was a little bit of a realization for me.